Well, it's hot, but I can't wait any longer. Today we're going to try the 30-06 loads that we put together, and I'm going to rotate between shooting some loads for the 300 blackout and shooting the loads that I videoed with the 06. A little bit of breeze kicking up. Anyways, I got my awesome beach towel laid out. I've got the chronograph. I've never messed with it. I borrowed it. My good friend Bob loaned that to me. He also did a trigger job for me on my blackout. So I will show you what we shot, and I will show you the target results, and we'll see how we did. Okay, just so I remember and you know, we're shooting this out of a Remington 700 30-06. The case length is 2.490 on average. The overall length is 3.32. This is once fired Remington brass. The powder is IMR 3031. These are Sierra 150 grain bullets. It's a soft point boat tail. And the powder charges are number 1 being our first row, and number 5 being the last. 47.5, and we go up in half grain increments to 49.5. Okay, this is the 30-06 test loads with the IMR 3031. We had 5 loads loaded. We shot 4 different loads. Let's look at them. Here's our first load, 47.5 grains. Here's our second load. We had this one flyer out here. This was 48 grains. Seemed to me things tightened up as we reached 48.5 grains here. But when we reached 49, they got really tight. And I stopped at 49, and I want to show you why. Alright, I don't know how well this is going to show up. Okay, the reason we stopped, this was 47.5 grains right here, these 3. Then we went to 48 grains. Then we went to 48.5. 49, and then these on the end are 49.5. I don't know if you can tell it on the camera, but I want you to look at the rings and how deep they are on these. All 3 of these have deep rings. I'm talking about this little outer ring outside the primer, where the primer and the primer cup meet. And you look here, and this one here looks a little flatter. Then you go over here into the 48.5, and they all look pretty good, but this one right here starts to flatten a little bit. Then when I got to 49 grains, all of my primer started looking flat, and what that tells me is that the primer was being pushed back into the firing pin. And so that could be a sign of pressure, or it could be a sign of weak primers. So I stopped because of signs of pressure. Cover them with a quarter. Not great, but not bad.